Now, the Commission for Gender Equality hosted a multi-party dialogue with various civil society organizations yesterday in Bloemfontein. The discussion focused on the Commission for Gender Equality's report on the 2021 local government elections, highlighting the gains made and losses suffered. Political parties, the ANC, EFF, IFP, ACDP, ATM, and several others were present. Let's discuss this now with the CEO for the Commission for Gender Equality, Phelisa Nkomo, just to talk to us about the outcome of that robust engagement yesterday. Phelisa, good afternoon. Welcome to today. What, at a high level, what have you found in terms of gains or losses made when it comes to women's participation and representation in leadership, especially in the local governments or elections of 2021? Okay. Phelisa, just check your mic there. You might be muted. Just check your device. This is Phelisa.
Right. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Now we got you. You can start again.
All right. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Bloemfontein, and good afternoon to the listeners. One of the key things that is coming out from this report, which for us is of concern, is that, in fact, across political parties, there's been a dwindling number of representation in terms of women in particular. And in fact, our theme yesterday was actually focusing on building equal gender representation within political parties. And it's consistent with the outcome of the report. You know, some are sitting even, about 40% women and 60% men. So for us, that's the biggest issue. I think the second issue that is also really coming out is the fact that political parties have crafted what you call progressive manifestos, which really recognizes the issues around gender equality, but also the need to invest in women's leadership, right? And in fact, they've even, in the feminist language, we call it, they've appropriated a lot of progressive language, which I think all of us would really be happy with. But obviously, the biggest issue in their manifestos is the fact that there are no clear strategies of how to implement some of the things that are in the manifestos. So for us, what truly signals is that, in fact, this could easily just be empty statements with limited or no political commitment into what has been actually that's contained in the manifesto. Also, the third issue for us, that is what was quite interesting, is that even though women's representations have actually declined, but at the polling station where political parties are actually represented to do oversight, right, to be party agents. It's women who actually are sitting at the polling stations to make it sure that their political parties are being voted for. And for us, we thought that there's something that is quite an interesting misnomer, that here are the women not getting positions of power in political parties, but in fact, they need to be some form of a vanguards to make sure that their parties actually secure power. But fundamentally, what that even reflects, that picture, it reflects the patriarchal nature of our political system.
Yeah, ahead of this dialogue, sorry, Sis Phelisa, to come in the interest of time, ahead of this dialogue yesterday, you pointed out that there is pressure for women to lead differently, and that's not just in the political space, I guess, it's everywhere in society. But when they do, then women are characterized as emotional, as soft, and sympathetic, contrary to a characterization that might be used for us men. And when they are assertive, when they seek to be assertive and they are assertive, they are then labeled as aggressive or uncaring. That's the patriarchal approach.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. In fact, our discussion was really interrogating that part of what we need to do to encourage, not only to encourage public discourse, but also to fundamentally talk about the type of leadership that women bring when they are in position of power. Actually, we do need empathy, by the way, because all of us are human beings. We do need emotions, because all of us, by the way, do have emotions. But also, there are also special skills that women bring in political parties. Amongst those is the fact that actually, by design, we are actually nurturing, we are developmental, but also as well as we have actually often a much more better foresight in as far as the different things that actually concern. So, for instance, if you look at women are interested in access to education for their own children, right? So in essence, they will contribute into making, if they're in leadership position, they'll contribute to making sure that actually their children have better access to education. The second one is around access to healthcare, because health is very important for women to make it sure that they lead productive lives and they lead longer. So they would be interested in that. But also women are starting to, they're saying we're interested as well in economic power. We're interested in the allocation of resources. We're interested in fiscal policies. How do you then design and, make and allocate resources for women? So one of the key things that truly came out in the conversation yesterday was that firstly, it's important for political parties, which is also coming out from our report, that in fact we must focus on gender equity, not gender equality. Because gender equity, for instance, actually allows us to better understand that the playing field it's not equal, and that participation in politics is not a natural equalizer, that there needs to be an additional investment in both women and men, by the way, but in this context, particularly women. And the reason why we're saying that there needs to be, so that women are not fast-tracked and put into position of power when they're not ready, but that also there are clear supportive system in that. The other one as well is that political parties must invest in political education and leadership programs. Because in essence, when everyone else who's a political leader gets voted for into position of power in terms of public office, they don't serve their political party, they serve South African citizens. So in essence, if we get, people who are not well equipped, with limited technical expertise, that they should be able to. But there's something else as well we are even raising. We're saying there needs to be a legislation that actually governs the quota system. And the quota system should be based on the population. Women constitute 51.2% of the population. And therefore, the quota system should be actually as that, because one of the key things we're saying is that from these local government elections, it's clear that women of this country cannot wait entirely on the internal political system to recognize their role or to facilitate them.
It's going to be interesting what the political parties are going to do, Ms. Phelisa, ahead of 2024, following your report there. And I'm sure you, as the Commission for Gender Equality, you're going to be watching this space very closely as the country prepares for the 2024 election, to see what political parties are going to do in terms of women in leadership. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That's the Commission for Gender Equality CEO, Phelisa Nkomo.